friends! Hello! Welcome back to Amethyst Craftworks. I'm Samantha, and today, baby, let me tell you, we are feeling the fall vibes. I would say up until maybe last week or so, in my area in Pennsylvania, it was still in like the low to mid 80s during the day. In fact, I still had my air conditioner on in October because it was still that warm. But then, oh, beautifully on Friday of last week, the weather broke. We had some rainstorms roll through. It rained off and on all day on that Friday. It cooled things off, and then suddenly the leaves start changing, the leaves start falling. It's bright but cool in the like low 60s during the day, and it is chef's kiss. It is glorious. And so I am for sure feeling the fall today. And so that inspired my video for you here. I did recently do a summer project wrap up, and I did that video because I made a summer project planning video. And so this video here is a fall project planning video. It helped me, that summer video, really help keep me on track, keep me doing the things that I need to do and want to do. And I thought doing this for fall might help keep the ridiculous ideas that are bouncing around inside this green head of mine, right? Like, keep them in check, keep my brain sort of vaguely organized, because that is something that doesn't happen very often, right? And so I'm going to try to keep to these projects, as well as things that I'm not going to mention here, like the Stitch and Scream, for example. That one's just a given, you know. So without further ado, let's start this project planning video. So, in my summer wrap-up project whatever video, I told you guys that my crochet duster took a back burner because I was working on my Halloween costume for the get-together with the besties. And as of recording this now, that happened last weekend. It was an excellent time. We played some fun games and riddles. We watched the Stephen King movie Thinner. We had some good food. We did a Hot Ones inspired hot wing eating progressively hotter hot sauce kind of contest. It wasn't really a contest. There was no prize. But we had, if you were familiar with Hot Ones, you know that there's 10 stages of hot sauce, right? The first one is relatively mild, but then the last one, the hottest one, is called the last dab. And we had 4 hot sauces. The mildest one from the Hot Ones lineup. One that was sort of towards the mild side, but a little hotter. Then one that was a little hotter than that. And then we had the actual last dab. Now, I don't want to brag or anything here, but your girl, I was a trooper, and on the last dab, I put quite a lot on my chicken nugget. We were eating chicken nuggets, and out of the 4 of us that participated, so me, Bestie Laura, and Bestie Pums, and Bestie Kevin, I was mostly unfazed. I will just say, there was a lot of milk chugging, a lot of coughing, a lot of sweating, a lot of having some issues, and then I'm just over at the table dipping tortilla chips in the other hot sauces after eating the last dab, right? So I would say I have a pretty good heat tolerance, not saying the last dab isn't hot, because trust, it is. But it's not so hot that I was like dying, so take that for what you will. But all of that babbling, just to say, the costume that I was working on, I did wear it. This was part of it. It is Cat Hulu. Can you see him? Maybe I can lean back enough. cat, Cthulhu, right? He's got all the tentacles and stuff. This was just stupidly cute. And with this t-shirt, I wore something that has been like bucket list level project for me for a very long time. And I finally committed to making it. And it is, if you are familiar, then you can probably tell what this is. But it is the Twisted Kraken hat by the Twisted Hatter. And it's not 100% completed, right? So I was working on it for the week and a half leading up to the 7th of October. And I got 95% of it done. However, I did not finish the eyes. There's 2 big eyes that go on the top of this hat here. I just didn't get to it. I ran out of time. And so this is number 1. Finishing this in fall. I'm going to put the eyeballs on so it is 100% complete, because otherwise this thing, it is incredible. And hold on here. I will remove my little ghosty hat here and I will model it for you. Hold on. All right. I've got it on. This hat is like a journey wearing it. It is big, it is heavy, it has got a lot of moving parts, as you can tell. There's a lot to it, right? And this was the first time that I ever made this pattern. So it was a learning experience for sure. Thankfully, the Twisted Hatter has not only the written pattern, which was relatively easy for me to follow. I'm not the best at reading patterns, but it was still pretty easy for me to read. And she's also got a video tutorial to go alongside of it. So if there's a part that you are confused or lost on, you can follow along with her on the video, and it was great. Sorry, I just keep messing with my tentacle pigtails here. Okay, anyway, they can stay like that. So the pattern and the video was very easy to follow. However, I think maybe my tension is a little bit looser than the Twisted Hatter's, because my hat, the hat portion, I don't know if you can tell, like, it's big. It's comically large. It doesn't fit exactly, I think, the way it's supposed to fit. I think it's supposed to maybe kind of be like that and then sort of tighter up here, right? So you've got the, like, octopus sack back here with just some plastic bags in there, you know. And then the tentacles that are, like, curly and wild, and I love it. But it is a commitment to wear, I will just say. So this was my Halloween costume, but it is not totally finished. The eyeballs that go up here, I just didn't get to. So this is number 1 on my list for finishing for fall, like ASAP. This is getting finished 100%. And then I might remake it because I love it. I also don't love the choices in yarn that I made, which I will talk about here a little bit more in a second. But I should have picked a solid color for the back of the tentacles. The suckers, like the neon colors for the suckers, I like that. I like that selection a lot. But this part should have been a solid color, in my opinion. Take it for what you will, right? But yeah, this is getting completed 100%. I'm making the eyeballs for the top of the hat first, and it's happening, like, as soon as I can get around to it. There we go. Putting the little ghosty back on, because even though I love the Twisted Kraken hat, it is a commitment to wear, like I said, and it is cool here, but not that cool. So we are going back to my little ghosty. But anyway, the next thing is talking about the actual yarns that I used in that hat. So hold on, let me grab them here for you. All right, this is an armful of yarn. So the sack part of the hat, the big top part of the hat, is made from bright stripe from Red Heart Super Saver Stripes. It's this yarn right there, if you can tell. This is just the remainder of one of those, the jumbo skeins. So I had quite a bit left over. So there's that part. And then, there we go. The back side of the tentacle, so the side that I said I wished I'd picked a solid color, is also Red Heart neon stripes. I love these yarns. I love these two yarns specifically together. They look fantastic, but maybe not for the Twisted Kraken hat, I will just say. I do also have, this is Amethyst from Red Heart Super Saver. This is my ideal purple, and I think it matches the purples in these two pretty good, so I put that in. And then I have got 3 Craftsmart Value Neon, which I haven't looked. Is Craftsmart even a thing anymore at Michael's? I think they replaced it with, where is it here? This yarn right there, which is Soft Classic by Loops and Threads instead of Craftsmart Value, right? Although I haven't looked, maybe Craftsmart is still there too. Who knows? Anyway, I've got 3 colors of the Craftsmart Neon. Neon Orange, Neon Yellow, and then Neon Violet. These were the other colors that I used on the sucker portion of the hat. And as you can tell, I've got a decent amount of these various yarns left over. And so this is part of my project planning, because I think I want to make some kind of scrappy blanket. It's been a while since I made a blanket. I think the last one I made was a baby blanket. So maybe a scrappy neon blanket with these striped yarns worked through it as well. Something like that, because I want to use these. I love these colors, and there are a few other colors from a certain Hirschner's brand that I absolutely love that I haven't bought yet. If they're still available, they're absolutely coming to mama. And there's also a Big Twist Value yarn, I think from Joann's. There's a couple of them that are sort of neon rainbow-esque variegated. Like, I want to make something wild and crazy with these yarns. So I'm thinking a blanket, but I don't know what kind of pattern. Do I want to make like just a stripy chevron, or do I want to make like patterned granny squares, or what? If you have an idea for me, please let me know. But this has got to be a project. I could even work. There we go. This is slime from Joann's, and I think that's the Soft Classic. I've got orange here. I've got orange here. Like, I want to make some kind of crazy neon blanket with these and use these up because they deserve to be used. Now, the next thing on my list is to finish this project. This was the beginnings to a granny square cardigan. I don't think I had the pockets on when I showed this to you guys last, but I do now. So this is a front panel with the pocket. Don't even know where to set all these things. I'm like getting tangled in my yarn. But here is the second front panel with the pocket. It's the pocket attached because the back is just black. So I made a pocket on both of these. But then, I've got, let's see, this is a sleeve that is like a big billowy sleeve. Because I don't know if you guys can tell, but I like a big sleeve. I like a dramatic sleeve, and big billowy baggy sleeve on a cardigan Yes, please. So that's a sleeve. That's the other sleeve. This is not a sleeve because we only have 2 arms, sadly. But this is the back panel. And this is not only in the dimensions of squares, granny squares, that my Movie Marquee squares are in, but this is also the configuration that I think I'm going to do for my Movie Marquee square cardigan, because this was essentially a practice run for that. And so I want to 100% complete this, so I know what to expect. I know how this is going to fit, because like you guys can tell, right? This is oversized. It is going to be oversized. I also didn't use all the squares that I have. How do I word this? I used all the squares that I made for this cardigan, but for the actual Movie Marquee cardigan, I'm going to have at the end of the year 72. And I think this used 54 or something like that. I'll have to redo the math. But, you know, I'm going to have more squares. So I think I'm going to also make a hood for the actual Movie Marquee. And then I'm still going to have some left over. But I'm getting off track. The whole entire point is to have this completed. So I not only have a purple and green and black and white fabulous cardigan to wear, but this also will give me a really good idea of how to construct the Movie Marquee Challenge cardigan. And speaking of the Movie Marquee Challenge cardigan, I have got... Oh, I just hit ya. I'm sorry, I just hit ya. But I have got quite the stack here of Movie Marquee squares. I think these are all from the second half of the year, so starting from July or so. I know, like, Star Wars is upside down, but it's here. I've got the one behind it too, the teal, and this one. These are Spirited Away. These are Adventures in Babysitting, right? Like, we could go down Dark Shadows there. We can go down memory lane here with all my squares. But I wanted to show you guys these. These ones on top are the ones that I just showed you in my last Movie Marquee Challenge update for October. But I wanted to show you these because this stack here is only but a taste of the amount of squares that I have got for the Movie Marquee. And I know, and you know, and you know that I know that I'm going to go absolutely out of my mind if I'm trying to 100% construct a sweater in December, trying to do it by the end of the year. It's not going to happen, right? So I'm going to try to start assembling these now, like in fall, before winter, before December, like before the crunch time of the end of the year hits, because I have so many. These are, I don't know if these are all of them. I have them like stashed in Ziploc bags and a project bag. Like, these are definitely not all of the squares, but I don't know if these are all of them for the second half of the year. I gotta go searching. So, even though the Movie Marquee is also one of those things like the Stitch and Scream that is just a given, like it's on the to-do list no matter what, assembling these pieces is on the docket, is on the to-do list for fall, because I have to. So I need to get the purple and green and black and white, etc. cardigan done first, so I know what I'm doing to then start with all of these. Okay, so the last 2 things that we are going to talk about, really, I mean, it is 2 things, but we're really only going to talk about one of them specifically, because all I'm going to do is flash these at you, and I'm going to say, this is getting completed in fall. These are all the squares that I still have left to use, which means I think this is also getting a hood, and I don't even know what else. But this is getting worked on. This is getting completed. I am so close to finishing. I may try to put these in the sleeve somehow, because I way overmade squares for that duster project as well. And so I know you guys are probably sick of seeing me talk and hearing me talk about this project, so just know this is also on the to-do list. However, the very last thing that we are gonna chit-chat about is using up some yarn that I already dove into. I've got a little tiny bit of one. I'll set that over to the side because I've got this half-used cake, and then I have got one full cake of the Kraken macchiato cakes. I got these a few weeks ago, a month ago. What is time even? When did I get them? September at some point? Maybe. But I got several of them to make a poncho with, and you will see the fruits of my labor for that. Perhaps in a future, what have you done? I'll try to do one in October here as well. But I had 2 of these in the color Solitude, and then 4 of these in the color Bewitch. And just be still my heart. I think these 2 are probably, let's flip it around so you can see the nice side. There we go. So these yarns, this cake of yarn, this brand, Kraken macchiato cakes, this type of Kraken cake is one of my favorites that has come out in recent weeks, months, etc. But these 2 colors, I'm just, in love with, and I'm in love with them together. And so I made the poncho, and I'm going to make something else out of these remaining cakes. I don't think I'm going to need, I have 2 left and then 1 full one and then this of, I don't think I'm going to need all that. But if you saw my Big Wings What Have You Done episode, then you know that I made a little kiddo-sized hooded cowl. It was the Wild Oleander hooded scarf cowl dingy-madoo. And I bought that pattern because, like the twisted Kraken pattern, it's also like a bucket list, like, God, I love the way that looks pattern. And so I made one to donate as a kind of practice to like learn the pattern and, a trial run of the pattern. And so now that I have done it, I'm ready to commit to making it in these yarns. I think the body and the hood will very likely be out of Bewitched, and then I might do like a little trim around the top of the hood, the top of the cowl, and then do fringe with this. We'll see how it goes, but I love that pattern. I love hooded things. Hooded cowls, hooded scarves, snoods. You guys saw a parade of snoods last year. I'm putting hoods and things on like all of my cardigans and dusters and things. Like I love hooded bits and pieces. And so I think I'm going to absolutely love a hooded cowl in these yarns. Since it's got wool in it, it's going to keep me nice and warm in the cold months. And it is hand wash. We make exceptions for hand wash if it's this beautiful. I mean, are you kidding me? Just stunning. And I will say it is similar in fiber makeup to Scarfie, Lion Brand Scarfie. I don't know if it's 100% the same, but it's similar. It's 80-20 acrylic to wool. Off the top of my head, and I sadly don't have any Scarfie to even reference here on hand, but I think is Scarfie 80-20 as well? If it's not, it's close, like 1981 or some, something like that. I'm not entirely certain. It's been a while since I last used Scarfie, but it feels very similar to Scarfie for sure. And I think Scarfie is machine washable, is it not? Machine washable on cold. I have made things with Scarfie that I have machine washed and then laid flat to dry. A shawl and another cowl, big infinity scarf. I have made things with it, and I think I have washed it in my washing machine. On gentle, of course, and in cold water, and then laid flat to dry. But it makes me curious, is hand washing really necessary? Like, can't I gentle cycle this, in cold water? Do I want to risk it, is the question. Just to have the convenience. Maybe? I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, whether or not I hand wash this is neither here nor there, because yes, I'm absolutely making a wild oleander cowl, hooded cowl, in these yarns for fall, because oh my god, it would be so warm and snuggly, and I love that pattern, and I'm just dying to make one for myself. And once I do make an adult-sized one for myself, then sorry for spoilers, but my family members are probably all going to get one too, right? Because if you guys are like me, once I find a pattern that I really like, I memorize it, I make it 8,000 times, I make, everyone in my entire life a version of it, so we'll see if if this starts like the snowball effect for that too. But yes, other than the Stitch and Scream, which I didn't even talk about because that's just a given, as well as the Movie Marquee, the other updates and things that I do for the Movie Marquee, those are just a given as well. But those are the big projects. Those are the big things that I want to finish. Anything else that I decide to work on, anything else that I want to work on in between those things, we'll call those a bonus, right? But those are the big things, especially the duster, and especially the purple and green and black and white cardigan, to get that finished so I feel like I know what I'm doing for the Movie Marquee, so I can then get that. And the eyeballs on the top of my Twisted Kraken Cthulhu hat, right? All of them are at the top of my list. It just depends on which one I grab for first, right? But yeah, anyway, I have babbled at you far too much today, so I will just let you go now. But before I do, I will say thank you for joining me, and liking, and subscribing, and commenting, and all of that good stuff. And until I've got an update on one of these projects or something else to talk your head off about, I will just let you go. Thank you and take care. Goodbye.